socially disconnected. And the question, I guess, is why? Why might this be? But I also think that there's some more recent trends that may also be influencing why we're more concerned about this. Regardless of whether trends are on the rise or remaining stable, that there's reasons to be concerned. I think that there's a lot of concern around the role of technology. Of course, this is a very hotly debated topic, but nonetheless, it's clear that the way in which we are interacting socially has changed with changing types of technology. And I think there's a growing concern around, is this change for the good or for worse? There's also, I think, a growing sense of a fraying social fabric. There's growing acrimony and the growing polarization in terms of politics and the way in which people engage civically. And we see a lot of disharmony in society. And there's also a growing sense of a need for success, such that people are working longer hours, kids have enormous pressure to succeed in school, to be involved in a number of extracurricular activities, such that work and other kinds of efforts that are aimed at increasing success are really pushing out the time that might otherwise be spent with friends and family. And so I don't think it's just one thing. I think there's many others that I haven't even mentioned, but I think that there is certainly a growing concern.
Which really brings us to what my next question is for you. What's the sense of you in deciding to against something that is exceedingly taking on some of those issues that you're talking about? I'd love to know your thoughts.
Yeah, I think that one of the things we need to be really mindful of is that people can become lonely or disconnected from a variety of different circumstances. For some, it may be a mobility issue. Among older adults, there's an increasing risk for hearing loss. For others, it may be a renal loss. And we need to work on solutions to address the underlying cause. And if there's a mismatch between what people actually need and what they're receiving, we're unlikely to find a solution. It may be unsuccessful. And so I think we need to recognize that there's not going to be one magic bullet
One magic
that is going to that's going to fix it all. And while there may be a place for a pharmaceutical intervention in cases where some of these other approaches have been unsuccessful, we also need to exercise caution in that there needs to be growing education and training in the medical field on how to deal with or at least what some are referring to as an epidemic of loneliness. And if all physicians have in their toolbox that may be the only solution that we need to look at that toolbox so that we use the right tool for the right issue to make sure that we have the best solution.
Julian Holt Lundstad, Professor of Psychology and Neuroscience at Brigham Young University in Utah. Professor Holt Lundstad, thank you so much for talking with us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And researchers at the University of Chicago's Brian Dynamics Lab finished their final studies in June. No word on when this loneliness pill will be available to the public. You're listening to Here and Now. This is WHYY. Philadelphia Mayor Kenney addresses the resignation of Police Commissioner Richard Ross today. We'll have details at 2:04. And as Here and Now continues, the Trump administration says a new regulation will allow it to detain migrant children for longer than is currently allowed. Also, the NRA's influence on background checks. We'll have a look at India's moon mission. That's next hour on WHYY. Stay close.
Hi there. Did you know that your smart speaker is also a radio? Just ask it to play WHYY, and you'll hear your local NPR station. While you're at home, we'll keep you company. Just say, play WHYY, and your amazing little smart speaker device will take it from there, tuning you right to 90.9 FM. Don't stay silent. Speak up for yourself. Use your voice to hear the news and shows you love on WHYY. You say it, the speaker will play.
Funding for Here and Now comes from the listeners of WBUR Boston and from Indeed, used by over 3 million businesses for hiring, where employers can post jobs and use screener questions to build their short list of preferred candidates. Learn more at Indeed.com/hire. And the New York Times, in partnership with WBUR, presenting Modern Love, the podcast. Stories of love, loss, and redemption, performed by actors like Stanley Tucci and Kate Winslet. New episodes every Thursday, available on Apple Podcasts.
This is Here and Now. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson asking European leaders to do something they've already rejected. He wants to renegotiate Britain's withdrawal from the European Union. Johnson is in Germany today for meetings with Chancellor Angela Merkel. He'll be in Paris tomorrow to speak with the French president. Deal or no deal, he's promised to take the UK out of the EU on October 31st. BBC's Damien McGuinness joins us now from Berlin. Damien, it's good to speak with you.
Hi, Peter. Nice to be here.
And the British Prime Minister has been quite clear. There is no deal if the so-called Irish backstop remains. By the way, that has always been a sticking point in Brexit negotiations with Europe. Explain more what the Prime Minister is thinking.
Well, that's the big question, really, because a lot of people are unsure where he's going with this negotiating tactic. This backstop, as a reminder, is an insurance policy, essentially, that there is no hard border in the island of Ireland between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland after Brexit. Ordinarily, after Brexit, you're going to have two different tariff regimes. You might have two different regimes of regulation. So the backstop is very controversial in Britain, a very controversial measure, which would mean that the UK and Northern Ireland would be tightly aligned and for a certain amount of time potentially within the customs union and single market. Now, this is something that Boris Johnson objects to. The reason why this is a strange thing to be fixated on, though, is that it's clear that the EU will not back down on this. The EU sees this as the only viable option. And so far, Mr Johnson and the British government has not really come up with an alternative solution. So Angela Merkel said she's open to other ideas, she's open to other solutions, but until those other solutions are there, the backstop has to remain this insurance policy, essentially. So the question is, why is Mr Johnson pushing this when he knows that the EU and Mr Merkel will not change their mind, because they see this as solidarity with Ireland, an EU member, and also as a way of keeping the single market together.
So does it seem like he honestly is trying to change people's minds, or is he just going through the motions, checking off a box before he bails out without a deal?
If you look at the German press and a lot of the opinions here in Germany, within the government and within commentators, most people are of the opinion that Mr Johnson is pursuing a tactic to appeal to domestic voters back in Britain, and that what this is about staging a sort of negotiation, making demands that Germany and the EU will never agree to, and then if and when there is a no-deal Brexit and there are economic problems created by that, Mr Johnson, the British government, would point to the role of Germany and to the role of the EU and say it's the EU's fault. So that's the view in Berlin right now. That's what people assume. Now, whether that's true or not is another matter, but the fact that that is what people here widely believe indicates the lack of trust in Germany towards Boris Johnson.
And how is Germany feeling about the prospect of the UK crashing out without a deal, considering the state of the German economy right now?
Well, it would be a problem for Germany, certainly, because British exports are an important part of German business, and there are other risks on the horizon right now which could potentially impact the German economy. But really, what German businesses have said all along is that, given the various risks they have to deal with, The most important thing for them is the EU. It's the EU market, 26 other EU markets apart from Britain, and it's the single market, which is the mechanism that keeps borders open for trade between Germany and other EU countries. So what Mr. Johnson is asking Germany to do and the EU to do, in the eyes of German business, would undermine and dilute and endanger the single market. So German business tends to think very politically and thinks long term, and so the risk assessment that most German business leaders we've spoken to over the past few years is that the lesser of two evils would be a no-deal Brexit, or to lose some British business, than to endanger the whole single market. So that's what we've heard all along within Germany, and that is still the view from business today. That given the choice, they'd rather take a hit and lose some British business than endanger the single market, which is so essential for the German economy in general.
Now, Boris Johnson is going to move on from Germany. Tomorrow he will be in Paris with the French President Emmanuel Macron. Will things be different there, or still clean as what we saw in Berlin?
I think what we found over the past couple of years since the referendum vote is this incredible unity within the EU, and that surprised even the EU itself. So that's something that no political leader is right now going to jeopardise. Now, there are differences of opinion between French and German leaders. Traditionally, Germany is more open and more pragmatic when it comes to dealing with Britain, and Angela Merkel is very much a leader who will enable other leaders to save face if it has a pragmatic solution. Traditionally, Emmanuel Macron has taken a harder line with Britain and has said some quite tough things about how it's more important to stick to the EU rules than to cater to what Britain wants. But at the end of the day, when it comes to concrete issues of whether, for example, we keep the backstop or whether we reopen the exit agreement, there's no difference of opinion between France and Germany, and what we've seen over the past few years, there's no reason to believe that's going to be undermined or endangered anytime soon.
Well, the UK may have an easier. Ian McGuinness. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter.
And Here and Now is a production of NPR and WBUR in association with the BBC World Service. I'm Peter O'Dowd.
I'm Tanya Mosley. This is Here and Now.
Funding for Here and Now comes from the listeners of WBUR Boston and Geico, offering the Geico mobile app. The Geico mobile app stores ID cards, enables bill pay, and submits policy updates and claim reports directly from a user's cell phone. Learn more at geico.com.
You're listening to WHYY. Stay tuned as Here and Now continues.
Supporting WHYY, Temple Health. Patients with advanced heart failure can find options at Temple, designed to help them live longer, healthier lives. With mechanical circulatory support technology and with strategies to help heart transplant candidates receive donor hearts sooner, Temple is dedicated to helping patients with advanced heart failure thrive. Learn more at templehealth.org/best outcomes. That's templehealth.org/best outcomes.